Every film or hybrid photographer faces challenges or setbacks, especially when starting out with the complex art of film photography. Haven't we all made mistakes? Well, let me share a personal story about the time I ruined a whole roll of Portra 400. I hope you can learn from my errors and hopefully avoid this heartbreaking experience in the future. So let's start from the issue. I was using my trusty Canon AE1 and I had troubles unwinding my roll of Portra 400. It was truly a heartbreaking moment when I realized that I had potentially lost part of my film, or worse, the entirety of the roll. Despite this, I dropped the roll off at my local lab and waited an agonizing 10 days to get my film developed. When I finally got my film negatives back, I was eager to start scanning and editing as I was hoping to recover what was salvageable. The first images that I tried to recover were the ones that I shot in Lazise. It was a rainy morning back in April, and I had the brilliant idea to go out and shoot Lake Garda while it was rainy and windy. I was so curious to see how the colors and tones would turn out on Portra 400, since this was one of my first rolls of Portra 400. My sister filmed me as I shot 8 images in total, braving the wind and the rain for over an hour. We both ended up soaked and freezing, but I was so excited to see the final results. The next batch of images that I tried to salvage were the ones that I shot in Malcesine. That day, I was driving to Malcesine to cheer up my partner who was participating in an ultra trail run. I stopped along the way to take pictures, and at one point I finished the roll, so I sat in my car to unload that and load a new one, except that I made a huge mistake. So instead of winding the film the correct way, which is clockwise, I wound it backward. You can also notice that in the video, but at the time, I didn't know what the hell was going on in my brain. It's really simple to unwind film on a Canon AE1. You just unwind it in the direction of the arrow on the button. So that's super simple, yet I managed to do it wrong, and I only realized once I opened the back and exposed the film. Now, a little note, there is another video about film photography on my channel. That is the day after this. I was heartbroken, I understood my mistake, and I was ready with a fresh new roll of film to go back, and I actually shot some of my favorite images that day. So it was a success. I'll leave the link in the description box below if you want to see that video and those beautiful images. So I spent a whole 10 days hoping that I did not lose all of the images, which is something that can happen when you expose your film. I only completely lost the images that I exposed, which were from Lazise. Luckily, I still got the images I shot in Gardaland, which I'm going to share in another video. Still, the other images that I was able to save have a weird colored line on the film, which is showing on the images, and I also think it altered the colors and tones a little bit. So I turned some of these images in black and white, as you can see. As for my favorite shots among these 10 images that I was able to salvage, I would say that my favorite ones are the ones from Malcesine, especially those 2 images with the white car. What happened there is that I was driving to Malcesine and I spot a wedding happening just in front of the lake, and on the other side of the street they had parked the car of the couple, so that is the reason why you see flowers on the car. So I just quickly parked my car there. It took a little bit of time because in Italy we have tiny streets, very crowded, so it took me some time. I left the car and I jogged to the location with my camera. I took a couple of images waiting for a car to not be in the scene in my frame, because there was a lot of traffic that day, being a weekend day. And I was able to capture these 2 images, which were not ruined by me, and I'm so happy. I'm so grateful that I was able to salvage these 2, and I'm also grateful for the lesson that I learned that day. So this was such an easy lesson to learn, but I hope it will help you in the future. Let me know what you learned through your mistakes with film photography. I can't wait to share more about mine, and I also can't wait to share those gardenland images that I shot on this roll that I was so happy turned out great. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Ciao. Grazie.